Welcome back, guys, and seems like we're gonna be getting into our next match already. This time it's FES Academy Riptide versus LA Plus Laplas. Lapras. Oh, God, I'm dumb. I didn't get that till I said it out loud like that. I was like LA Plus Laplas. So yeah, that is why they have a really cute Ditto Lapras plushie for their icon. That's for sure. And in the meantime, Riptide, more of the Kraken. Gonna be looking to be a battle of the sea creatures actually in this matchup. It's pretty interesting, even their logos aligning here in the open division. But we were able to check out First Fabulous Fighter versus FES Academy Ball with Korean squad taking the victory pretty handily. Will Riptide fall under the same fate, or will they be able to actually take the win this time? Both sides, if I remember correctly, though, are at the top of the rankings around the either the 5-2 or the 4-3 mark. Let's get confirmation of that. It's 5-2 here for Laplace with a 10th seed, actually. In the meantime, Riptide all down below on 4-3, but a higher OMW. So this is going to be a pretty spicy matchup. They're going to be pretty closely knit in this instance. But in the meantime, we are waiting on, hopefully, that FES Academy Riptide is going to be all good with their roster. We're waiting on, though, for our first map, which is, of course, going to be the control type into this one. So again, our map pool, guys, is Controlled and Hybrid, Escort, Assault, and finally Control yet again. Always a pleasure to have King of the Hill maps to make sure that someone is going to have a victory, someone is going to have a defeat, unless we go back in the days of TF2 and decide, hey, let's not cap the points whatsoever and play Team Deathmatch instead. Anyway, though, Little Man, It's Nova, Hazi, Fish Fry, Smile, and Daks gonna be here for the side of Riptide versus ILY, I Love You, Kakubaku. We also have Mijinko, Lasora, Moa, and Alter JJ for the side of Laplace. So it's gonna be a Singaporean SEA squad here for Riptide versus a Japanese team of Laplace. And these are pretty familiar faces here to me of the Riptide squad. As I said in the previous stream, we were able to do a show match actually between Riptide and Bava. And Riptide was the one who showed up truly with a 5-1 score against their opponents. Hopefully, though, we can get started really soon. It seems like the Riptide is making sure that their latency is going to be all good and all set for this upcoming match. What do you guys think? Who do you actually support in this matchup? Early on, we had some Baba fans in the chat. We've seen people support their FES squadrons. But will it be the same case here? Are you on Team Riptide? Are you on Team Laplace? As we are going to be getting into the matchup soon. A very interesting question here for me actually is how will Riptide respond to the hero pools this week? As some people in the CC knows, Hazi is a pretty strong support player, but he really did shine initially with the Lucio. So without the speed boost, how will they actually respond? I've seen him though play the Brigitte really well, and surprisingly he plays tank really well as well. So, you know, those are a lot of different things he can play on in the first place. They also have a pretty strong Doomfist specialist on Lil Man, so maybe they can actually try to get the Fist of Fury out and about. Unfortunately though, for the side of Laplace, I don't know much about them. I really struggle to find any of their socials, especially on Twitter. Like, for the previous Japanese teams, I've been combing to Twitter trying to figure out who is on what, and eventually to the true grits of atting people as well as translating on Google Translate. I was able to find a number of teams playing in the open division, but hey, always a good time to expose a new aspect of the community. It is going to be LA Plus, going to be getting showcased this time today, and hopefully Riptide gonna be all good into this one. What kind of first map would they pick though? That's gonna be the real question. We've seen many people actually pick up Lijiang Tower, an absolute standard, something everyone knows how to play in the first place, but there are other maps like Oasis that might be comfortable as they were in the previous season of the Open Division as well as Competitive Ladder. Basically, the hero pool of Open Division follows the Overwatch League. But on the other side of the coin, it's a little different though with the map pool itself. It follows the competitive scene instead. In the meantime, though, we'll be right back, guys, and we'll get started as soon as the match begins. Okay, guys, welcome. It seems like we're finally time to get started. Unfortunately, couldn't get a countdown done because we were unsure when the other player was gonna get on in, but it seems like it is gonna be FES Academy Riptide playing with the roster they have right now, trying to wait on for someone else. Seems like it just wasn't the case, unfortunately. But our first map of the night's going to be Busan for this matchup. And it's time to move into the streets of Korea. And we'll see what the two teams have in order for us. I'm just happy though that the game is going to be finally starting as we move into downtown to start things off. FES Academy Riptide on the left, LA Plus on the right. Let's get into this matchup. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the delay, but it seems like our two teams are ready and raring to go. Gonna be a fun one here. And now on Busan, and in this instance, in this matchup, we do have little man, it's Nova, Hazi, Fish Fry, Smile, and Doxlan for the blue hand side. And in the red for Laplace, it's ILY, Kakubaku, Mijinko, Lasora, Moa, and Alter JJ. So it's time to see what compositions these two teams are going to bring us to the table. And it's going to be Smile and Snova playing that Rhine with the Orisa. Doxon in the meantime playing onto that Mei. And I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a struggle here for Riptide without one of their main roster members. It might be Zion, if I remember correctly. It seems like LA Plus, Lap Plus going to be needing a pause real quick, making sure everything is good and set in their equipment side. But there we go, a quick little reset, a quick little reconnect, trying to make sure that the server is going to be a-okay. But it seems like Orion Orisa gonna be in order here as well for the Japanese squad, but he's gonna be into play as well. And double hit scan might be the cards here for Elaplas. Hopefully though, both teams are a-okay with their technical aspects. Like I said before in the previous stream, it really is difficult nowadays with the NCOV quarantine really affecting many of the countries in the Pacific scene. Well, it's hard to fix things up, it's hard to set things up, and it's really just a good thing that these teams can actually play the Open Division to begin with. Yeah, T3 prod, T3 gameplay, T3 everything. And let's just move on up, move on over. Let's get into Busan, Laplace, all ready to go. FES Academy, Riptide, trying to make sure that they can actually put up a fight here. And it seems like they are going to be playing a few comfort picks as well in their roster. I see a Doomfist, I see a Brigitte. Both sides actually pretty potent with those heroes. And well, Riptide going to be looking to tear asunder the opposition. The Laplace squad going to be struggling potentially in a storm. And for Riptide, the Kraken might be waiting down below in the deep blue seas. Busan though, but it's all about downtown. Really a lot of potential with the hit scan. You can get to the higher ground, you can actually find ways through the buildings, through the small little awning on the inside, and especially just above the point, the little platform there. Very, very effective to be anyhow effective. You can see the McCree, you can see the Ash, as well as the Widowmaker and the Hanzo. Those are pretty potent heroes to begin with. The Hanzo, of course, not a hit scan hero, but projectile, but still has the same kind of range as Sniper to say. Good thing though, both sides are very sporty with one another. Even with all the delays on both our end as well as their end, they're all a-okay. We're still gonna play, we're still gonna have fun, we're gonna try to get this match going as much as possible. Of course, they're playing into the rule set as well, but beyond that, it's all about getting as many maps as possible, as many games as possible, and the winner of this series will be the one who deserves it, who plays better than the opponent. It's not about sping, it's not about forfeits, it's not about who has what score, it's about who can play and beat their opponent. But anyway though, Riptide, if you look to come on out strong, feel like they're not as confident as they are with their roster right now, but if they can make it work, this is going to be such a big boost, especially to everyone all around. Quick little disconnect though, seems like another technical issue is in order, and it's really just heartbreaking. That's always the issue in the SEA scene. It's really one big deal for the Pacific scene. Having these internet issues hurts us a lot, and then the server as well on the default region, it really is a pain on the ping as well. But these guys really try to make it work. These guys who are still in the open division from the SCA region, they are really valiant at trying to represent and try to make a career out of this game. And hey, you know, it has a very structured approach. It has both good and bad aspects of it. It's hard to find grassroots competition, sure, but at least there is a system in place. But hey, it's all about what kind of taste and what kind of game you want to play in the first place. But yeah, it's just like you just sometimes you just get a few messages. It's like, I'm like, it's okay, guys, it's okay. It's what open division has becomes sometimes. It has it as parts of the system. It has it because it really is just anyone can join and anyone can climb the ranks, anyone can get good and move on over to the higher tiers. But you know, it happens. Technical issues happen all around. I looked at the VOD. It seems like there was a little issue in the Kings Row VOD when the half of the HUD actually disappeared out of nowhere. That was the first time I thought I accidentally clicked the hide HUD button, but apparently it wasn't the case. And hey, you know, Overwatch trying to figure out what it wanted to do, disconnected OBS instead, and so it's like, oh, okay, cool, no problem, Overwatch, whatever you want to do. And speaking of Overwatch, guys, Overwatch 2 gonna be coming out sooner rather than later. I feel like Echo can potentially be the last hero here in Overwatch 1 before we all move on to Overwatch 2 or not. But in the meantime, Echo, a very mobile hero in the right hand, is gonna be so strong. The damage isn't the biggest, I'd say. It's really strong, that's for sure, especially having so much free movement. The best players can do so many with it, but she is pretty glass cannon-y. Her hitbox is kind of big, but that ultimate is absolutely ridiculous. Someone needs to change that. I don't feel like I'm overreacting when I say the ult is really, really strong. But anyway, finally, guys, an echo of the past gonna be moving into the future. We move into Busan. Both sides having all their players back from a 5v5 becomes a 6v6. And it's finally time to come out of the gates of the cafe, of the karaoke. And who is the leader of this lobby? That's gonna be the real question. Everyone's saying R, but they don't know who's actually gonna pause the game, and this is just getting freaking hilarious. It's finally time, though. The countdown initiates. Let's get into the action. We have done it, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally on map number 1. It's happened. We're here. We're seeing Overwatch. It's finally time to get in the game, but you know, that's gonna be a big welcome there, courtesy of Mijinko. The Reinhardt tossing that fire strike, getting a few hits already, 23% on that shatter. And another fire strike fish fry gonna get turned into paste instead. Smile in the meantime, trying to push it on forward. And FES Academy Riptide losing members to picks. Apparently, there's so much damage being done from different angles, from different sides here from Team Laplace. And Kakubaku on the high ground, dropping on Dan Hazy all alone onto the point, forcing an initiation, forcing them to pick him off. But Laplace is going to be able to get the capture to start things in this matchup. Now Daks going to be responding in kind. Onto McCree he goes. Will he be able to put the dent against the Ashe as well as that McCree on the other side? As Alpha JJ and Kakubaku looking to try to play a little bit of the crossfire, looking to make sure that they have the angles of opportunity. Dynamite toss on that, doesn't get too much there though. In the meantime, Ryan Orisa here and now for the blue hand side. You can see a little bit of the problem. So slow for FES Academy Riptide to push on in, and it seems like this is a composition they practice pretty well, but only with the Lucio, the Brigitte. Sure, you can actually play it out, it can work, but the shatter right now, courtesy of the Red Reinhardt. That boosted on up, frags going on the board here for Laplace, and it is just gonna be the Japanese squad getting pick after pick after pick yet again. All red so far on the kill feed. Dog side right now gonna be all alone. And yeah, the rotations here from FES Academy Riptide just taking way too long, especially against McCree, as well as the Ashe onto the high ground right now. Alpha JJ getting some free hits onto Smile. Bob is available, and I feel like the best case here for the blue hand side will be just going to the straights on to the points. They will suffer truly on the high ground offensive, courtesy of the two hits. Dawson in the meantime hanging on back. And FES Academy Riptide looking to make sure that everything is going to be fine and dandy with the rally. Pushing up forward already this time. They get the close gap. And in the meantime, Matrix is there. Bob gonna be tossed on that as well. Shattered right now though from Smile. Gonna be looking to poke a little fun against the opposition. But it's Daks and ILY getting a pick off each. Supercharger now available. But on the opposite, it's Nova going for the damage with himself. 3 frags on the board. FES Academy Riptide. Apparently, when they're finally as close as they can be, they can win the fight out pretty handily. And it is a tough win condition here for the blue hand side, but they make it work. And now they get the retake into this one. The flip goes over to FES Academy Riptide. Setting things up onto the high ground yet again. Fusion Cannon though going for as many shots as possible. And in the meantime, it's Little Man and Doxlin with their ults ready to go. Meteor Strike as well as the Deadeye. Very, very potent in this scenario. Gonna be able to get as many picks as possible. Here comes the Supercharger right now. The opposite end though, Deadeye being primed with Altar JJ finding that opening, gets a shot to connect. Nano boosts are tossed, but it's just been all lapless in this instance. No efforts from FES Academy Riptide actually panning out whatsoever. And on to the point we go for the Japanese squad yet again. Lapless on to this objective. They get the capture. They're moving on forward. Who's that Pokemon, you may ask? It has to be the Lapras pretending to be a peaceful Pokemon, because this is just a clinical approach yet again from the red hand side. Lapras with 138, but hey, just a retake way too fast, way too effective, and you really say Lapras having their opponent's number. So far so good here for the Laplas squad, and ILY as well as Minjiko working as well as they can together with the Ryan Orisa. A little different though from the Brig Ana. They are playing the Batiste on instead with the double hit scan, so really a lot of range damage to try and cover the Ryan and the Orisa on their advance. You can really say like in basically shows where there's a super soldier, you have these army people in behind, you have these infantry having some big guns really providing covering fire to our heroes as they push on in, and it feels like that is Laplus's game plan. ILY as well as Mijinko gonna be able to try and push on in. Kakubaku, Moa, out there JJ as well as Lasora. Gonna be very effective in providing the sustain as well as the damage from beyond. Kakubaku though with the first frag, gonna get picked off by Fish Fry this time. In the meantime, here comes the blue hand side of Riptide trying to play as close as possible. Yet again, it's gonna be distance versus distance, short range versus long range. And the blue hand side of Riptide getting into the chokehold is exactly what they want to do. This is their element. Will it be enough though? Smile going for that shatter, but we get the block courtesy by LY. The only ones stunned up are the Reinhardt as well as Batiste, but they get on up. Daniboo's now online onto that Ryan. And the red hat side of Laplace even going for that Matrix. No team though with the objective whatsoever. It seems like a shatter was tossed, but Minjinko unable to get much done there. Has in the meantime with the rally as FES Academy Riptide gets the initial capture. Not really the strongest contest though here from the red hand side, and ILY onto the wrecking ball we go. Laplace trying to get the boop on down. Not the best rotation here for ILY. Dawson in the meantime with a Deadeye. And these small seconds that the Japanese red team just forgetting to act on, really hurting their chances to get this game going in their favor. Now they are suffering under the damage being done from Fishfry and Dawson. And a good comeback here from FES Academy Riptide. It feels like they figured out their mistakes from the previous match, tried to go for the gap close as much as possible with the full units, and by this point in time, taking a high ground that they can defend one another to a good degree. Another big instance, of course, will be a drop on down to the point, but Kakubaku gets to with the Deadeye. Where did the tank line go? Just disappearing off into the wind. And it seems like Kakubaku, an illusionist of his own kind, making your main tanks disappear. 10% and counting here and now for Laplace. They are going to go for the chokehold onto the high ground, and the Reinhardt here from Mijinko going to be so effective at making sure at that doorway not going to have any kind of entry points whatsoever. It's Nova in the meantime, we'll set things up. Supercharger is there. We'll see how this is going to pan out here for the blue hand side. It's Nova trying to push on forward yet again. Smile in the meantime. Getting in front, the Vanguard, the tip of the spear, the Reinhardt's dueling yet again. Supercharger, Nano Boost all used up, and it's time for the Little Man show. He's trying to get in behind, but the shatter there from the red Reinhardt, allowing him to get two, make that three. Lasora getting on the board as well. Meteor Strike, though, in behind, gets absolutely nothing. And Laplace, yet again, shutting down that Doomfist. highly unfortunate here for Lil Man. It seems like the Laplace squad able to win out in the front and able to focus their endeavors against the Doomfist in behind instead. But anyway though, we're gonna be keeping things up and to see if you guys do know the teams, you guys know who's playing on, feel free to share this stream. It's an English broadcast of the Open Division Pacific, and here comes the rally right now from Hazy, staying onto the corner, trying to get the push on out. In the meantime, Smile right now, Shatter is available, trying to go for the brawl, but the staircase to heaven gonna be blocked up by ILY. The teammate is there, beautiful stun right now, connecting from Smile, but Sleep Dart in response, Fish Fry though, all the way on the other side, Daks unable to get pick after pick instead, and this is truly a showdown here, finally a competition between our two teams. Riptide with a trade on back, getting the objective. Laplace unable to finish up the fight here, and now we are gonna still see more and more of the action here on Mecha Base. Anyway though, the fight continues and Smile gonna be out in front yet again. In the meantime, here comes Mijinko pushing on forward, and this is gonna be Bob tossed on out. Unfortunately though for Alter JJ, doesn't get too much distance there, and this can just be Riptide disengaging away from the Butler ultimate. Now, this does buy space here for the red hand side. They can use their hit scans to a good degree. Shadow Knight now connecting. Dawson gonna get taken down. The two supports down below onto the ground. And ILY gonna spread his love like a laser beam. Sounds like a song or two that he can use for an opening. But anyway, the red hand side now of Laplace onto the point we go, getting the objective back. Both sides very evenly matched. It's Nova though already with the reset. But the real question is, did he need to? Was he spotted in that instance, or did he feel that the rest of his team needed him more in the backline? Whatever the case, on the wrecking ball he goes instead. Has it right now. Repair backs being tossed. Little Man in the meantime, on the Doomfist we go. And if you're going with the Natty Boost, Future Strike is available. Full commit here and now from Little Man, but I feel from last order before he dies. Really buying time here for Kakubaku. Can the McCree survive? No, that's not gonna be the instance. And Riptide just able to come on back, get the team kill. And it's desperation time here and now for the Laplace. Can they finish things up? Can you get the victory here? Or will this be forced into map number 3? Busan looking like the showdown that it needs to be. And with the rally right now, gonna be online. The Hazi going for the chokehold. Overtime though, taking away Lil Man with a pick off onto one, but it's a counter kill here. Here comes the Shatter though from Mijinko. Iova going on forward. And unfortunately here for the side of Laplace, they have to move on with the Moira into the point instead. Lasora stepping on, they get the capture, but it seems like FES Academy Riptide having the numbers advantage still. Onto the point they go right now. Mines are available. The McCree and the Moira working together, but Hazi gets in his face. And both sides desperately fighting for this objective. Unfortunately for Lasora, faints into the mines. And as overtime takes away Riptide, just able to get pick after pick yet again. The candle burns on like an inferno, so quickly snuffed out. 100 to 99 as soon as overtime Wicker goes on down. We are all tied up here on Busan. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly having a match to remember, and it is only the start of the show. 1-1 right now on the Sanctuary we move into. And FES Academy Riptide finally picking up the pieces and figuring things out on that second one. In the meantime, Little Man giving us a little bit of advice to begin with. How to play McCree? That's one. Is that McCree? Like 1, 2, 3, right click. What hero? What hero could that be? Is it Doomfist? I think it's pretty much the revolver. That's how to control the Panda Hammer and just how much damage you can really go for the KOs to begin with. But anyway though, FES Academy Riptide gonna be looking to stay onto the western side of that Taiko drum. In the meantime, onto the east, we are gonna have Laplace instead, Brian Orisa trying to set things up. Barrier gonna be set here as well. And it's double shield versus double shield, but it's the more standard form with the Sigma here for FES Academy Riptide. On the opposite though, it's gonna be the more brawly Brian Orisa for Laplace. Lamando disengaging, good eye field set on up here by Hazi, moving on over from the Brigitte. But again, the hit scan prowess here for Laplace, allowing them to get pickoffs from the side. And there you go, Alter JJ making things happen. Kakubaku on the board as well. And this is looking like Laplace with the team kill and the initial capture. Solid clip here from Laplace yet again. All about the damage, all about those angles. And if you can really get a compass that makes a circle, you can really say that Laplas is all around at least half of that curvature. Alter JJ don't need to top up. Moa gonna be able to get that sidelines on. It seems like the staircase gonna be the friend here of Laplas. No surf though available. They can't actually get into the water. But anyway, right now, Kazi ready with the Amphatrix. Last Aura in the meantime using his as well. Bob don't toss on that. Little man to the floor. Good sleep right there. Connecting. But Kakubaku just tearing everyone apart. It's the Deadeye with the Amphatrix. And those quick bullets turning into silver. Just destroying anyone and everyone in his pathways. Overall though, this is looking like it's a Laplas show yet again, starring Kakubaku as well as Alter JJ. In the meantime though, Mijinko ready with that chapter, holding close. And it seems like it's really just about where they can play, that each member of their team can keep an eye out on each other. It's not about touching, it's about looking. And is this social distancing? Social distancing here for Laplas. This is truly the strategy, not only in-game, but out of it. And Kakubaku gonna be able to distance himself to get that takedown. Little man, though, able to just invade. And he's the one breaking quarantine into this one. Reacher Strike is available. Doesn't use it, though. Trying to bully Mijinko as much as possible. ILY able to get a frag on back. Kakubaku now gonna get infected there. And the Fist of Fury gonna be able to get the KO into this one. FES Academy Riptide with the come on back. And hopefully everyone is safe and sound. People watching the stream, people enjoying Overwatch, just be like, at least we're at home with family, with friends, so with my computer. Quarantine, and if you guys can actually sustain your income in this trying time, even better. But of course, big shoutouts to everyone who's working for us on the outside right now. Anyway though, back into Overwatch. Sometimes it gets a little emotional, but here comes the emotions of It's Nova. Gets the flux on. 3 frags on the board here for FES Academy Riptide, and ILY gonna trip on over yet again. Bob right now, sauced on that. There we go though with the bullying onto Mijinko. He's gonna be reporting that sometime soon. And FES Academy Riptide yet again holding control of this objective. A little different in their style. They want to have a little mix of the CQC as well as the range. And with the Sigma on board, It's Nova just flexible enough with his mobility, with his shield play, able to move around the map and enable the rest of his team to take different angles. Anyway though, Supercharge now set on up here by Smile. They are looking upwards, but in behind, they know someone's trying to go to the flank. It's Alter JJ playing alone, gonna get taken down here. Good read courtesy of FES Academy Riptide. Perfect adjustment. And now, the SEA squad looking in control. Almost tied up in that percentage. Basically, one more fight for the side of Laplas that they can really take their time in. Trying to make sure to make it to the other side. 78 apiece right now. Shatter is available though, and Mijinko gonna be charging his way to the Vanguard. Still though, it seems like FES Academy Riptide gonna be holding on to that staircase. It's a good way to make sure that both sides of the wall gonna be covered. And here we go with the Deadeye. Daks this time getting a pick up on the one. Advantage already here for Riptide, and they have the objective. Little man getting back on the board. He's looking like a big boy into this one. And FES Academy Riptide only needs to take care of the tank line. There we go. Everyone taken down. And the SEA squad able to take revenge for their fallen brethren, their fallen sister team earlier on. They take the one map lead. Play of the game on to Moa. And the Ana, well, doing an effective job with the Nana Boost play with pretty much all the sustain. But this was the FES Academy Riptide comeback special. After a slow start there on Busan, they were able to make it happen on Mecha Base and into Sanctuary. They were completely in control. And honestly, this is very characteristic of them. If I remember correctly from the show match, this was the same case. They really started slow. They didn't have their bearings on that first map. But at the tail end, as more maps went on, it really was just the Riptide show for so long. FES Riptide taking the 2-1 victory on the map of Busan. The real question is, what will we get next for our hybrid? Will it be King's Row, or will it be something else? Anyway, it is going to be a Laplas's swap, but there you go, guys. Confirmation with the icon. Riptide taking that one by storm, and Busan gonna be just the territory of the Kraken into this one. Very well played there for the Riptide squad. On the first map, they really just didn't have the gap closer that they wanted. They went for rotations that really puts him in a bad spot against a Laplace. But eventually, onto Mecha Base, they were able to bridge the gap, move on over to the side, to the corner, to the chokehold, and it was a very flippy scenario there. Both sides really had a chance at it. In the end, though, they were able to make it happen, and apparently Kings Row now gonna be map number 2 in our second match of the night. We've got some open division broadcasting here and now. It's always so fun to get a double header. I feel like sometimes when you're on a single match only and it ends like what 3-0, you want a little more. And this time though, with 2 matches, you can actually get tired with 10 plus maps. If there are tiebreakers, it even gets like 12, maybe 14 at most. But anyway, Kings Row now has been queued on up. Our second map of this match. Anyway, we're ready when you are. Our players, Leman, It's Nova, Hazi, Fish Fry, Smile, and Doxlan, looking to just continue on with their streak from this initial map. In the meantime, here for Laplace, they really had control at the starts. But the real question is, can they come back and take this map? Riptide is basically it's a turtle, but the more and more it gets to play, the more it gets to experience, the more it's potent. And we'll see if Riptide can just tear asunder, tear apart the opposition. As we are waiting on though to make sure that they are fine and dandy. Riptide has been the one also having these technical issues, especially getting one of the players unable to connect to the Asian region, as well as the fact that they are the ones not really on home territory. So we'll see. We'll see how FES Academy Riptide is going to adjust, but they have been doing so well so far to begin with. And it's like hot potato with the lobby host right now. Kings Road though, yet again, so many different compositions. Ryan Zarya, the Orisa Sigma. You can even play the dive. Sure, there's no Winston, but the Ball Diva can be pretty effective. Also, the Ryan Diva, just pretty much the meta right now. Even with the new patch, sure, the new patch, you can see a lot more Batiste yet again. Batiste was in a more stable spot after just absolute domination for a while. It got nerfed. It went to a little more onto the specialist side. But right now, it's really a little more evened up. Also, very much more easy to sustain yourself with the regen boost, lesser cooldown. So Batiste wouldn't be, it wouldn't be something that would be unexpected from these two sides. It seems like though LA Sora as well as the rest of Laplace going to be asking for the data center to change things to something else. And I know for the fact, since it is technically their host, they can do that. So we'll be right back. We'll make sure everything is fine and dandy on to this technical aspect, because it really is something that they contest a lot. And we'll be going into Kings Row as soon as everything is set on up yet again. Okay guys, welcome back, and finally let's get into game number 2. Yet again though, let's check out that results. Busan going over on Riptide with a 2-1, but King's Row gonna be map number 2, and it's gonna be a fine weather affair here at the Knights of London. FES Academy Riptide though, gonna for a quick substitution, and it's Vips in for Lil Man. It's Nova Hazi, Fish Fry Smile, and Dawson. And working with him as well. In the meantime, on the red hand side, it's still ILY, Kakubaku, Mijinko, Lasora, Moa, and Alter JJ. Seems like though these two sides trying to load on in. Apparently, this is a better data server for me. Who knew? Who knew that optimal is the way to go? And that ping man, just looking so good right now. Problem is someone isn't loading. We're making sure that everything is a-okay. So in the meantime, as they're gonna talk out yet again, let's go back. Let's go back into this one. Never mind. There you go. There we go. We're good. We're good. I'm just making sure that they are all good. I'm just making sure that they're all fine with that server. And I really hope one day that they specify what this is all about, like what the server really is in the first place. And you know, it's so difficult because of just such a weird ruling like that. Like sure, you have a default region, but you don't know what server you actually play on to begin with. It's pretty finicky, honestly. It's pretty finicky, and now it does give a lot of chances though for SEA, Japanese, and Taiwanese squads to actually change the server to something else and play against the Korean teams who are in the region. At least that's ammunition for them to work with, but at the same time, it takes what? If you don't get the lobby host at the starts, then it takes you to lose a map to technically get that host instead. So that's basically the explanation of that ruling. Every single time you lose a map, you can request to host the game. And with hosting the game, you can pick the server as long as it's in the region of Asia. So complicated, but it's so complicated when something isn't cleared out. And hopefully on the next season of Open Division, it's clear what it is, what server we're gonna be playing on. We are gonna get these issues all the time. And maybe they'd be able to at least narrow it down to choices, like if they're gonna play Asia, you can only play Japan or Taiwan, not Korea, or you include Korea or whatever. Whatever the ruling is gonna be, it's gonna be all up to the admins in the first place. The only issue though with these servers being changed, especially with the manual data center, is these players are forced to basically reconnect every single time, because you'd expect many of these top tier teams to be playing with VPNs, to be playing at the optimal ping as much as possible, to be playing in a proper way to showcase their skills from the home, from wherever their sponsors or wherever they are playing together. Anyway though, here we finally go yet again. We've taken a while though, as FES Academy of Riptide gonna have that one map advantage. Looking to defend with the Batiste as well as the Zens. All about damage right now. High ground here, taken by Vips. It's Nova, of course. Gonna be making sure to protect that second floor. And Dawson in the meantime, with the Hanzo we go. Such effectively keeping on coming, and the Sigma to set things up with those Hyper Spears. In the meantime, Smile out in front with the Eraser. And FES Academy Riptide feeling very confident with their approach. 3-3 split on up. And Hazi will be staying in behind of the Eraser. Now they're gonna try to go for the flank actually. Looking for a pickup onto Alter. JJ doesn't get it. Good stun though, courtesy of the crowd control from Laplace. And they are playing that Brigitte and the Ana. Now this is looking really good here for Laplace. They are in position onto the second floor. And if the blue hand side does contest this, they can go for the punish with the Brig with the McCree. So much stuns and so little time, but Kakubaku taking a lot of damage. In the meantime, though, onto the objective, and Dawson getting the pick off onto Alter. JJ, well played here to the Hanzo. In the meantime, looking around the map, sees the Dio floating on over. It's time to get a contest onto the objective yet again here. But Riptide behind enemy alliance, not complete whatsoever. ILY in the meantime. Gonna be looking to make sure that everything is fine and dandy. And it's apparently Laplace behind enemy alliance, as Riptide is the one stabilized on the objective. This defense looking good so far. IOI though, getting bothered by the Zen. Vip's really so aggressive right now, and you can see the tracking on points, trying to get the kill on the outer. JJ will get it, and the Diva trying to go for the peel, but will get DMX, and this is the Zenyatta show right here, right now. Mr. Vipstone unable to get the connection onto that slender baby Diva. Neither of them can get the hit, so let's just go to somewhere else before we see them make a fool out of that one. Eventually though, Daks and Vips able to get the KO onto ILY. No one saw how long that took. But anyway, it's still FES Academy Riptide. Sure, it took a little longer to get the kill onto the baby Diva, but that is effectively a stagger that goes out in their favor. Maybe, just maybe, they meant it, guys. Let's just say they did. As onto the high ground still stays Dawson. Hopping on around, but might get surprised by Alter JJ. Finally, the Hanzo finding a staging ground, but still not panning out. And Laplas taking a lot of time with this attack. The big issue here is they are not really resetting. They feel like their position will allow them a medium of success. But you can really see how FES Academy Riptide has responded to form up in a circle formation. They're just basically looking out on the outside. They know that they have each other's backs. And finally, the push here from Laplas gonna end on such a somber note. 2 minutes and 27 seconds for that whole clash. It took so long, but eventually Laplas gonna get forced to go for the resets. They are running out of time though, but they will have 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 and all 6 ultimates into this fight. But it's not gonna help out if Hazy will get taken down just like that. In the meantime though, you're gonna really see the static in the air. Electricity is bound here for FES Academy Riptide. They're ready to go for the destruction, and they have all their ultimates ready in this upcoming fight. Now they can decide if they want to go for the clean sweep early or later. Will they buy time? It seems like the Dragon Strike in order already. Halt! Actually going to connect onto many, and Dobson can get that KO. Beautiful catch there from Smile. Absolutely essential to allow FES Academy Riptide to save up the other 5 ultimates. And I'm just amused at how well they executed that beautiful green orb in the middle. And Smile an absolute MVP with that catch. Unfortunately though, the Laplas gonna be looking for that resets. And right now they are gonna have 5 ultimates coming into this upcoming fight. Alter JJ though, moving over to the Widowmaker. Do or die time here for Laplas. They know they need to get headshots, they know they need to get pickoffs. And we'll see if the Widow can make it happen. Junkertown connecting on the fish ride. But Hazy with the eye field set on up. Vips though stacking with that Transcendence. And Alter JJ gonna get that KO. In the meantime though, Captain back with that Deadeye. Here we go with the Average right now. Beautiful Flux though, catching out 3, self-destruct in behind. It's not going to be enough though for ILY to get much done. It's Nova down with a KO on the 1. No one touching the objective, and that is going to be effectively a C9 for Laplas. They forget about it yet again, going for those rotations. It's just not working out here for Laplas on King's Row. Apparently, they are looking more like the Jesters of Court beyond the royalty of Riptide. Anyway though, Riptide right now, only 1 tick to take the 2-0 lead. And really, this is Riptide's characteristic. A slow start on the first map and then absolute domination on the next. Solid efforts so far here and now from our SEA squad, and Riptide looking to go places with this roster. Can they come back though to make it to the playoffs? We'll find out in the upcoming weeks, as this match number 2 of the night, game number 2 in this match itself. Earlier on we had first Fabulous Fighter versus FES Academy Bava, ending with a 3-0 in favor of the Korean FFF squad. This time though, it seems like FES Academy Riptide looking to make their name proud and try to get this series under their belts. Fortunately, Hazy cannot float onto that blackboard. And so far so good here for the Riptide squad. They get the full hold and they're looking pretty effective in this matchup. Now they are going to try to play the on with the Brig yet again. They need to make sure that they remember path of least resistance is the one where they can close the gap against their opponents quicker. In the meantime though, it's actually going to be a Doofus and a May here for Kaku and Alter JJ. Very, very different from our first parts of the map. Very different from our first map itself. And really good flexibility here from Kaku and Alter JJ, playing different roles of DPS, playing different designations. We'll see though if it's going to be anyhow effective with this May and the Fist. As the Rhino Risa set on up onto the objective. In the meantime, Smile and Nova looking to work together. First ride though, on the May stays on. And Dawson in the meantime, shots keep on coming. Kaku though, trying to get over to that high ground, looking to go for transition. There we go with the punch upcoming. It's Nova in the meantime, keeping the damage on. And this instance, we'll see how FES Academy Riptide is gonna go for the action. The fusion cannon here from the Orisa, keeping up with the pressure as here comes the drop on down. Beautiful Ice Wall though, gonna be separating Riptide. Will it be enough? Counter Ice Wall though, courtesy of Fish Fry, and it's over without with a tag onto one by a grenade though, perfectly tossed by Moa. But will it actually be a factor here? Ice Block right now, keeping out the JJ alive after the flash right there from Dobson, and McCree right now getting pick off after pick off yet again. Kill onto the Orisa, kill onto the Batiste, and the first tick now being taken. Ice Wall in the way, and that is gonna be a roadblock that unfortunately Mijinko cannot clear. FES Academy Riptide, one map away from match victory.
Play of the game.
Well played there to FES Academy Riptide, taking the 2-0 lead. Oops, put the score down. And yes, 2 maps already here for the Riptide squad. 1 more, and they are going to be able to have a good night of sleep with a victory under their belt here in the Open Vision. They really need one to actually come on back in terms of the standings. But anyway though, FES Academy Riptide looking so potent with their roster, even the substitution helping them out, allowing them a little more flexibility, with Vips going over to the support role instead. But in the meantime, here we go with our results as well as our upcoming map. It is going to be Junkertown. Apparently has been the fan favorites in the Open Division. Very surprising, but it basically allows your snipers to shine in many setups. But there you go, guys. This is our result line so far. Busan taken in a close one there by FES Academy Riptide. In the meantime, Kings Row, apparently the score a little wrong, but that is FES Riptide with a 1-0. Junkertown though gonna be our next map. We'll get on that right away. But anyway though, it has really been the Riptide show on Kings Row. The big issue for Laplace was just basically the rotations taking way too long. And they didn't know when to really give up on the fights. In the meantime, Riptide, compared on Busan, were sure they were getting team killed from time to time very effectively, but they really knew when to go for the reset. They really knew when to disengage, when to engage. A really good push-pull from our SEA roster to begin with. And it's been a solid show so far. 2 matches for the night. We have been alive for quite a while already. We are just waiting on for map number 3 to come our way. Can Laplace come on back and move on over to take some maps, or will this just be the Riptide squad getting the sweep here, making the FES name proud? And it seems like though, FES Academy Riptide ready to go for the action. Will Laplace be able to take this one and look forward for a reverse sweep? Will it happen? Will it actually be a victory here for the red hand side? Or can Riptide just basically close this out in the same way they did on the previous map? Kings Row, man. Kings Row is such a practice map for many, and it really has to hurt when you are unable to get even a single parts of the points, when you're unable to get the first point, when you're unable to get the full capture experience, because it's something that everyone pretty much plays in scrims as much as possible. So many memories, so many antics, so many shenanigans just on Kings Row. And honestly, what was basically your first Kings Row experience? If I remember way back when, I think it was the second map I played after Ilios in, quick play days. It was just, I'm gonna play Tracer. Apparently I really liked Tracer back then, but hey, you find what you want. But as we are gonna go into Junkertown, map number 3, and what I want to see here and now are gonna be snipers galore. The gates gonna be opening. Qual Express looking for some takeaway. Make sure you're safe and sound at home, ladies and gents. This is an emergency broadcast. We're gonna be getting into Junkertown. Bips, it's Nova, Hazi, Fishfry, Smile, and Dawson on the blue hand side versus ILY, Kakabaku, Mijinko, Lasora, Moa, and Alter JJ. Early on, we've seen Laplas play the hit scan game as strong as possible. Will they do the same? Is this really why they picked up this map in the first place? It seems like all the cards in the table here. Gonna be reaching on now, trying to play as much comfort as possible here for Laplas. And there we go, Widowmaker here for Kakabaku, Alter JJ onto the Hanzo. In the meantime though, it's double shield, and ILY gonna be very flexible with that shield positioning, using that Sigma to a solid degree. Laplas though, gonna be fighting for progress, gonna be fighting for this victory, gonna try to make this happen. But in the meantime, FES Academy Riptide, from 0 to hero, honestly, from delays to just not delaying any kind of action during the matchup itself. Just so effective, so efficient. And the Riptide squad waking up from their slumber. Anyway though, it's Smile and it's Nova playing this double barrier yet again. Hazi onto the map, and Smip's playing this in Yatza. Very damage focus here from the blue hand side. Interesting enough though, it's Fish Fry on the main. So this does entail this first point Junkertown defense gonna be looking to play onto the streets, onto the corners as much as possible, especially beneath the bridgeway. The Shanty is gonna be such a good source here of chokehold. But in the meantime, it's Kakabaku staying on the left hand side, looking for Sniper 2. Trying to find the opening. Kazi though, flying in the air. There we go with the eye field, set on up. And a good pick off there from the Orisa. But Jinko trying to stay out in front. Smile gonna get caught actually by that hole alongside the Fish Fry, but supported by keeping him stable. In the meantime, there we go with the accretion. It's Nova trying to make something happen. Double holds yet again. Just really, it's like a claw machine and trying to grab that prize. But unfortunately, like every other claw machine in the arcade, it just drops it before it gets into the hole. I'm not feeling better, guys, but Kakabaku looking so sweet with those headshots. 2 frags on the board already. I feel right now set on up yet again. And the half matrix right here right now from Hazi. Trying to get as much damage done in this instance. But Kakabaku with the frag yet again. The Sigma trying to get as many picks as possible. 3 frags on the board right now though for the offense. And this is looking like to be the Laplas show. Setting things up to try and bust down the gate of Junkertown. But it seems like the offering gonna be accepted as the first point taken here by the red hand side. We move on in, ladies and gents, on to part 2 of Junkertown, Electric Boogaloo. The best part of the map, of course, is that Koala Express. I call it that way because it looks like it. It's a koala, and you get that some takeaway. You can also say it's Mackers, but I feel like as a sponsor of Contenders Australia, that'd be pretty blatant. Anyway though, here we go with the Amp Matrix. Flux though down below, and it just lifts him onto the rooftop there. Just basically the ceiling. It's Nova gonna be grasping onto that one with a Dragon Strike in so trying to cover that one up. It's gonna be an ultimate used up. Actually, another one. ILY gonna try to make things happen. Trans though, force from Vips instead. I guess it's a worthwhile trade here for ILY. Gonna be getting his Flux gone with the Trans in return. Anyway, though, the action gonna continue, and it's gonna be Vips moving on with the rest of the team. Daks in the meantime retreating on that Widowmaker. Kakabaku though on the hunt. 4 minutes on the clock here for Laplas. They're gonna have a lot of time to try and figure things out. Anyway though, Fish Fry actually giving chase, and the May in a pretty particular spot, all the way in behind, bullying Doomfist as much as possible. 5v5 in the front line, and this does allow Laplas to get a lot of progress on this second point. They're already halfway to the objective. Ice Waldo set on up. Dawson in the meantime take care of the supercharger. That is going to be a Bongodran that goes down. Headshot now connecting. Of course, the main tank will easily survive into this one. But here comes trouble. Kakabaku from the shadows. He's able to get the pick off onto Fish Fry. It's Nova in the meantime with the Flux 2 frags on the board. But ILY with the counter kill onto his counterparts. It's a pretty even fight so far, but with the Midwaymaker all the way too close. The Sigma looking for the bully. Dawson right now taking a bunch of the damage. Will get taken down as in the meantime playing the DPS basically with the Amp Matrix, but he cannot survive, he cannot sustain. And the payload now creeping on closer. Laplas just an inch away from getting the capture on. They are able to do so. A pretty big time bank as well, and it seems like the Japanese squad gonna be trying to go for the comeback. Taking this high ground, the Sigma of ILY, moving around the mount, trying to make sure that he can find the angle on. In the meantime, it's still gonna be FES Academy Riptide holding to the center. They are gonna be pretty effective actually if they can stay on that high ground. They have the Batiste, they have the McCree, and Ice Walls on the 360 range is gonna be so effective. Blizzard though gonna come online. High field to save those two tanks. With Alter JJ and Kakubaku coming on back. Two snipers getting some really good potency. Half Matrix in front as well. That allow the side of Laplace to just get damage done. But that's a multitude of ultimates. Even the Dragon Strike by the tail end might have been an overcommit there for Laplace, and FES Academy Riptide gonna be happy to take what they can get.
Fully healed.
Anyway though, Doxlan out of nowhere gets the snipe onto Kakubaku. And honestly, that's a huge pick-off here for the Riptide squad. Now, they can move on forward without worrying about their heads beyond the Hanzo up on top. And all they need to do now is keep tabs on Alter JJ. There we go with the halt of lunge. Keeping on up. Doxlan right now looking good so far, but has to decide who he's gonna go on. ILY floating in behind. And really, without socks, no footsteps whatsoever. Floating on up. Transto in response, the other best flanker. Gonna be going for the top up, but Vips and the rest of FES Academy Riptide gonna be able to get a multitude of picks by the tail end of Daks. It looked a little dicey though, but in the end, is Fish Fry able to just cook on up and make sardines out of the opposition. Alaskan tuna might be the specialty here on Junkertown apparently, with the Mei into the field. Anyway though, Fish Fry right now staying a little close, and it seems like FES Academy Riptide, after they get pick up onto ILY, they do have the potential to play as close as possible in the chokehold. Try to get as much damage done, try to force their opponent up, bring them like laundry. But in the meantime, Smile right now. Supercharger is available. Can't go for the bong drought at any time. Rocks being tossed out from both sides. It's Nova staying on the high ground, gets the Flux online. And he has been so effective at getting the lift on up against the opposition. Gravital is apparently name of the game. But here comes right now the Flux from both sides. Everyone lifted up into the air. Unfortunately though, that conveyor belt's just not gonna be lethal whatsoever. Way too slow. But the Sigma's trading blows with one another. And ILY gonna get that KO. Here comes Laplace right now, taking the advantage. Supercharger gonna go down. With the ult being tossed on out, here comes Laplace yet again. Moa apparently gonna be the flanker for the red hand side, moving around, but no, it's actually the Orisa with the flank, looking to try and get the KO, but the back line able to make things happen. Trans now gonna come online soon, and no, another pick off. This is really looking bad for Riptide. They cannot afford to lose members like this. They cannot afford to not have a full unit to try and contest. But right now they have to deal with the Trans. The Love Shield onto that Sigma as well, and this is really good here for Laplace. They are set on up with a multitude of ultimates, trying to find the proper angles. And it's Nova gonna be hiding on the side. Will get KO'd by Moa. The payload now so close to the end, and they will get the full capture. It seems like Laplace is not out of this fight yet. A fluke there on King's Row, and this time they have shown that they are in this fight, and they are in it to win it. 3 points, 53 seconds. Gonna be a good way to get the push on. Gonna be a good way to try and find their footing in this whole match. And if FES Academy Riptide cannot end this here and now, we are gonna go for 2 CP and then another control map if they still cannot get that victory. This is looking really dicey right now for Riptide in terms of that sweep scenario. They are still feeling confident. Of course, they have been showing up with such good fights. But apparently Laplace right now having their number by the tail end of that map. There are really just instances, especially with ILY going for those flanks. Like, nothing to disregard from It's Nova, his fluxes have been absolutely huge, but the offensive Sigma actually doing so much in terms of the attention, in terms of just basically where the opposition has to look. And Kakubaku doing the same to a degree, but really the off-tank fight, the big one there. It's good to see Sigma's really brawling, trying to get as much of those equations running in their heads. And honestly guys, the prime equation truly is whoever gets most of the kills and gets the objective will win that game. X plus Y equals Z. I'm a math wizard apparently, but you know what is not gonna need any math here? It's Doxlan on that bastion. Sets on up on the objective. Yo ho ho! It's a pirate life for me, but Alter JJ already gonna be sinking his fangs onto Hazi. The fatigue's going down, no eye field whatsoever. It seems like Riptide might fall on over already with that second support. But we'll see how this is gonna pan out. Staying on the high ground still. Lapless gonna be holding position. Waiting for the opportunity. Daks disengaging from the objective. And right now the Bastion, the little there takes apart, but it's Nova going down already. Shields getting broken left, right, and center. But still damage being done here by Lapless. And they want to go for the chokehold. They want to make sure that they can get the damage at a safer distance at some safer spots. And Dawson right now hiding on the corner, unable to set things up, but on recon mode, actually gonna get the kill onto Alter JJ. And it starts down to tear things apart. Sentry mode. A hail of bullets here from the Bastion. And in behind, that's gonna be Orisa. Mijinko with the KO from the side. Smile gonna go down there. Here go though with the Matrix. It's all up to Dawson right now. He gets 4 frags. That is pretty much all they need here. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the shield online, if you can get the bullets to connect with that amplification, well, you are gonna have a big time bank in your vicinity. 5:10 on the clock. FES Academy Riptide. Looking so solid so far with this pirate ship. Kakabaku in the meantime, onto the Genji he is. But he doesn't have an Ana to pair with. Might be an offensive transit, might be an eye field all the way out in front. But Kakabaku has to be an absolute hero in this instance. We'll see though what the Genji is going to accomplish into this game. As Dawson went for the configuration attack in the workshop here. Usually it's a good place to surprise their opponents and take the high ground with one fell swoop. But right now they have to play back into their usual strategy. ILY though, getting the flux on. I feel a little too low there from Hazi, a little too late. And now time for cleanup. Kakabaku leaving things apart. Pip's gonna get that KO, but it's already too late. That sword slashing onto both the Mei and the Orisa. Beautiful sleep dart right now connecting from Vips. And they can actually go for the execution. Fire grenade though getting blocked by Hazi as he jumps in the air. And low miscommunication there for FES Academy Riptide, preventing them from getting that potential pickoff. Anyway though, 4:05 on the clock. Still big time back here for Riptide. We'll see though what the plan is going to be here for our SEA squadron. As it's Nova now, moving over to that Diva. Ryan Diva gonna be able to contest on to the high ground if he just thrusters on in. But won't have too much time in the first place. ILY can go for the punish, especially with that accretion. And it seems like Riptide can decide that, hey, we can go for the rotation in the tunnels instead. Now, Kakabaku can get a lot of oil charge for the well-placed Sima Strike. It's still really Smile Show. Goes for Shatter already. Trans gonna get pinned on up, but Moa still staying alive with that invulnerability state. In the meantime, absolute chaos on the ramparts of Junkertown. It really looks like it's Mad Max here and now. But there we go. Hazi, Nana boosted up. We'll see. Oh, the whip shot! The whip shot was just absolutely quick, connecting on Kakabaku in midair. And you can really feel the impact from that left shift. Hazi, just an absolute hero there, enabled by Vips this time. No miscommunication from the support line. And the payload gonna get captured onto the second objective. Bigger time back here for FES Academy Riptide. They're looking good to move on over to the second round and win it out. By this point in time, this can still be the Laplace show. Really good sidelines here and now for the Hanzo. The Genji can just move on around it wherever he wants to as well. And in the meantime, the Flux right now coming online. Hazi in a spot of trouble. Pops the rally instead. In behind Kakabaku. Dragon Blade just unable to get much done, and it really goes to show when you don't have anyone directly supporting that Genji. The first time, sure, it can happen, but then the second time, everyone is watching out for it. FES Academy Riptide with a proper response. 3:45 on the clock right now, and FES Academy gonna be looking to just extend their lines to the tail end. In the meantime though, the U-turn already cleared. Smile with the KO, and Fish Fry goes for that Blizzard. The I-field though, as well as the Amphitrix in response. Beautiful Shadow right now from Smile gets the pin on Lasora. And the Orisa getting bullied here. Poor Mijinko, just torn apart, turned into scrap metal. Kakabaku trying to be sneaky, but it's just not gonna happen. Apparently, his heartbeat just gonna get sensed, and the payload now coming so close. There we go with the bully, courtesy of It's Nova. Wrecking Ball gonna get turned into a pile of scrap instead, and that's what Junkertown is all about. Self-destruct from It's Nova to celebrate that one in 1 minute 3:15. Second round of Junkertown coming our way. Hot affair here, but Laplace running out of chances. They need to get a really good time bank as well as a really good push to try and salvage this second round. It's inevitable here for Laplace to get an overtime push, but the real question is, with their time bank, when will it happen? For my estimates, with a minute, they will be forced in an overtime state by at least that first point. Unless really FES Academy Riptide will not contest whatsoever. And still will be close because that gate takes a while to open, takes a while to push that payload on in. But hey, every second counts here, and as I said, the time bank for Laplace is going to be absolutely essential before that overtime state.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
In the meantime though, Hazi going to be hopping on around. We'll see how this is going to pan out. Fish fry right now. On to the Mei he goes. And Smile in the meantime. Gonna be playing that Orisa. Holding close apparently. Gonna be the name of the game here for FES Academy Riptide. Looking to go for the push. Looking to make sure that they can get things done. And anyway, it's Nova and Smile. Double barrier. Gonna be the name of the game. Seems like though that Laplace already expecting it. They hear the footsteps in Mijinko. Turning his attention. She's Ganon being tossed over to the left hand side. Kakabaku onto the garage he goes. Going for a snipe, but unfortunately that enter crack lead to nothing. And with those tracing rounds, that is just going to be a punish. Smile, it's Nova now. 2 kills on the board. Riptide doesn't care. They are going to try to just dominate the action. They're going to try to dominate their opponents by not even letting them out of spawn. Already half a minute has elapsed. Big success here for Riptide. It doesn't matter now for Laplace. When they break this, it's either they break this or not, because in overtime, just gonna be the situation, just gonna be that no one's here. Running out of time right now, 15 seconds, someone will have to touch. And it seems like it might be a suicide bomb on up. I'm gonna try and make it to the other side, 10 seconds left. Dakabakado with a tag onto one, exactly what they need. The McCree coming closer and closer to the Sigma, but can Riptide hold? Seems like it's not the case because Kakabaku is popping up in this instance. 2-3 kills on the board, making sure that the support line gonna be last on the list. But the Orisa getting the contest on still. Finally, the payload gonna move. Vips in the meantime will get picked off. And eventually, Riptide and their defense gonna get torn into shreds. It seems like the Dam gonna be working on that, and they will be able to seal that breach. In the meantime, Kakabaku staggering Hazi. The Batiste a little too late with that reset. And now FES Academy will have to wait on for their second support. Hazi though does have the amplification matrix, gonna be so effective with himself, with Doksan, and maybe potentially even Vips as well as Smile. Nanagusto gonna be available as well, and we'll see what the support line can bring to the table. As a supercharger early, as well as the amp matrix. Pretty telegraph here from Laplace. Ice Wall though set on up, out to JJ now with a KO. And here comes the Highfield set on up yet again. Dragon Strike though through the center. And Laplace is doing it! They are going to be able to get this capture. It's Nova buying time. That's going to be a point taken. That's going to be a team kill. And FES Academy Riptide from hero to 0 this time. A quick reversal of fortunes. Looking so good in that choke point, in that spawn camp. By the tail end, back to a more standard defense. It just didn't pan out. Now, Dragon Strike gonna be in the cards very soon. Almost 5 ultimates here, actually, for the blue hand side of Riptide. In the meantime, since Laplace used their ults a little earlier, it will only be IOI and Moa. The Flux and the Nanagu is going to be absolutely essential, and Kakabaku really needs to find the pick, to find the flank, and he's going to try to go for it. Nanagu is there, but a Slink Dart from Vips, absolutely essential. Unfortunately, though, there's the wake-up call, and Kakabaku in behind yet again, looking for the punish. Doesn't get shots though onto Hazi as It's Nova gets in his way, and the Sigma yet again putting such a big factor. ILY right now going to be lifted up in the air alongside the Orisa, and the Riptide going to be able to make it happen. It's Nova! Another solid awareness play from our off tank. 4-3 right now. Riptide can take the victory, but this isn't gonna be an easy one. They wanted the full hold, they wanted the spawn gap hold, but now they have to work all the way to get some takeouts and just enjoy this meal. It's gonna be a nice dinner for everyone and everyone after this map. And after whatever you guys have been doing, for everyone who's been playing the Open Division, how have your OD matches gone? And hopefully we'll be able to broadcast a number of new teams next weekend. So usually around 9 and 10 we try to feature another team again. That's what I'm trying to do. It's almost always another team. Like, Team FFF getting 2 in a row was unintentional,
Attackers
because
incoming
apparently,
in
having both FES squads on the same day, it's just fun. It's just enjoyable to see one banner truly unite. But hopefully in round 9 and 10 we get someone different if possible. And then onto 11 and 12, usually we pick the matches that really decide who will get the last playoff slots. It doesn't matter already who's up on top. It matters who will make it at the tail end. With only 12 slots, a dime a dozen, everyone's been working hard for basically this 6-week fanfare. And the Riptide looking to be one of those 12. Bastion right now, and Daks looking to go for the scats. I think like they were expecting a potential Bastion on the other side. But it's FES Academy Riptide changing it up, not on the payload. This time, they are going to take that high ground. And basically, this forces Laplace to try and hide, to try and play defensive to a really cover degree. Double shield still being tossed. There we go with the halts. Unfortunately, though, still not able to get a pick off. Riptide unable to get the win condition in this fanfare. The big issue is they're still not getting any kills, even with those halts. Has been good placement so far from Laplace to stay alive. And right now, they even get that pick off onto Doxland. Seems like tides are turning in favor of Laplace right now. And it's Nova gonna fall on over. Surprise, surprise, don't smile with the pin! And even if the Reinhardt is gonna die here and now, that is gonna put a big dent onto Alter JJ and his ego. He has to be a little afraid right now of the rampaging knight just charging into field of view. And it seems like Riptide gonna switch things up yet again. Hazi open up to the Brig. They know the payload is now on a CQC nature, as it is in between those shanties. And they are looking to make the Brig pick count. Shadow though available here for Smile. Very, very helpful. Getting the pin onto the Hanzo. Solo on progress. But here we go with the Deadeye. Good shield play from Hazi. Unfortunately, as soon as that cracks, Baku with the shutdown. IOI in the meantime onto the floor. Smile only able to get one solo shatter there. And Alter JJ getting back on the board. Laplace holding the lines. And it's looking like the red hand side might be able to actually pull this off. A minute 30 though on the clock. Nano boost available here for Vips. And FES Academy Riptide deal with Sleep Dart from the beyond. Baku taking a nap. Can Doxan go for the executes? Needed to time that right to win Vips, but eventually it seems like Hazi and Diana do have their elements in a check. By grenade there used up though. It will take a while for another big nade here from Vips. Finally gonna get it back online. Here comes the Flux though, getting the catch on the Fish Fry. But the Supercharger just so difficult now for the Sigma to stay alive. Look at just basically that air struggle from ILY. Doxan getting back on the board. And FES Academy Riptide can't really climb there, man. Oh, it's a Reaper, but Baku gonna on-raid form in the face of the Hanzo, and that is just the worst way to go from invulnerability to death. 42 seconds right now. FES Academy Riptide, they have a minute to win it. Unfortunately though, here for the side of the defense, they have no ultimates whatsoever. They're coming back from a pretty far spawn. And even ILY even getting staggered. Do or die time here for both sides. FES Academy Riptide basically gonna be running out of time as soon as they bridge the gap. But Alter JJ getting picked off like that! And Riptide, now with the numbers advantage, can they finish the fight? Can they win it out? Will this be the end of this series? The Dragon Strike though to start things off. Looking to go for the chokehold. They are going to be able to punish Baku, but it's now overtime time. ILY though, onto the Wrecking Ball he goes. Pile Driver coming online. Fish Fry in the meantime with that Blizzard and gets the catch onto the Wrecking Ball. It seems like the hamster cannot run on his wheel anymore. The Centaur falls as well. And FES Academy Riptide just needs to get the pick off onto the Lone Strangler. Alter JJ gets taken down, and they will take this series 3-0 in a 5-4 slobber knocker on Junkertown.
Play of the game.
Play of the game to Hazi. And this time, it's the FES squad that takes the 3-0. They have done it. They have won it out. And in the end, look at that Brig just flexing that muscles, flexing that mace, going for those faces. That is a victory in favor of Riptide. Well played to both sides. Laplace doing as much as they could, especially on that map. But in the end, just a few nuances that did go in their favor. Just that last part of Junkertown round 2. it really looks so different from their first point defense. You can say the same about actually both teams, but it really cost Laplas there a potential map number 4. Anyway though, let's look at the results real quick. It seems like Junkertown though has been basically a place to brawl, a place to fight all the way for a second round. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our results. Busan, Kings Row, as well as Junkertown, all taken here by FES Academy Riptide. Very well played though by the FES Academy squad. They have shown they have learned a lot. 2-1 on Busan though. 1-0 on Kings Row and Junkertown with a 5-4. I feel like though Laplace really had such a good fight against Riptide, but Kings Row was just really showed the discipline and just the know-how of the teams in terms of gameplay. Riptide knowing exactly how to hold together, very, very disciplined, staying with the plan, sticking with it, and knowing when to engage, disengage, resets. Those are really big factors that really allowed Riptide to shine, especially on that second map, and win out those close affairs. I feel like though if Laplace was just as well-versed in the game as Riptide, they could have really dominated the Riptide because there were so many fights where Laplace is just basically destroying them with guns. Hit scan prowess there on the DPS line from Laplace, absolutely impressive to say the least. You saw that on Busan, so many instances. You saw that on Junkertown. But yeah, this Kings Row is really where the two teams showed their difference, showed what they were strong at, what they were weak. And that is going to be our night. For that second match, gotta give big props, of course, to our Sigma player, Mr. It's Nova, making things happen for the blue hand side. In the meantime, though, the dynamic GPS duo for Laplace, just so many instances, so many nuances. They were able to find these pickups, and well done there to both teams. Well done, honestly, to all 4 teams that played today. And thank you guys for tuning on in. Apologies for the initial mechanical and technical issues, but at least we got the Riptide thing to be as clear as possible. I'll be seeing you guys next weekend for another session of Open Division. Hope you guys stay safe, especially in these trying times. And of course, feel free to like, holy crap, like, share, and subscribe. Now, hit that follow, hit that sub, support the stream, and keep an eye out, especially on my Twitter. I've been using it a lot more, especially for these Open Division broadcast announcements, and it's a good way to keep updated. Still though, if you are looking for OD Pacific, it is pretty much almost always 8 p.m. default time in CST, Saturday and Sunday, which means that is 5 a.m. in West Coast time and 1 p.m. on like the eastern side of Europe, Central European time, or Center rather, CET. So that will help you out if you are coming from different regions and want to see a piece of the T3 scene, and do appreciate it. I do appreciate you guys tuning on in, and it's been very helpful. It's been very fun to be casting the T3 scene yet again. Hopefully we can keep this up till playoffs, and who knows what the future has in store for us. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one and have a good night.